What's up, guys? Happy day after Thanksgiving. We're here at the house, fixing to go work on the race car. And hopefully everybody had a very good Thanksgiving. We did. It was very relaxing. Got to spend some time with my family. But hopefully everybody's out there today getting some Black Friday deals, some of those 40% offs, 20% offs, fighting the crowd. I'm not. I'm going to go work on the race car today. So it's a good day. I'm off work from my normal job. So I'm going to go do that. So some things I'm thankful for, though. We had a great Thanksgiving. My family, my health, the YouTube channel, which is very surprising. I didn't really think, I would ever do a YouTube channel. John Doc gave me a good boost, getting out there. So I appreciate, him doing that for me. I've been having a blast doing this, and I've been, talking with a ton of people, lots of people from all across the country, even from other countries. And so I'm having a blast doing it. It's fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I do get some of those thumbs down. It took me a little while to get over the thumbs down when you have a video that you think is just okay, but and it's decent content, nothing crazy, but it is what it is. So that doesn't bother me as much as it did. So watch, I'll probably get a ton of thumbs down on this since I said that. But anyway, I've met a bunch of good people, and one of the dudes that I've been talking to for a little while, he saw a video and he said, "Man, I'm gonna send you something." He said, "I've got something that might could help you," and it was a surprise. So I gave him my address and he sent it. And man, I can't believe it, but he has sent me, check this out, oil pan. And it is exactly like the one that is on my car. And he was going to use this thing, and he changed motor combinations. And it's already got the bungs drilled in it, the oil heater, everything. So Chan sent me that. Chan, I really appreciate it. That's going to be on the car. So next time the engine is out, it's going to get a non-busted up oil pan. And so I can't believe it. He's like, "Man, Merry Christmas." And so that's awesome. So I really appreciate that. So what I'm going to work out today on the car, when for the last several years, the front brakes on my car, they're aerospace. And for the last couple years, the rotors have been progressively just a little more worn. And, they hadn't never been really terrible. But the last outing that I had at 710, when the parachute didn't pop out, I had to get on the brakes really hard. They were really hot. They were really stinky. And so when I did the struts on it last week, I noticed the brake rotors were in terrible shape now. So I think that may have done them in at the end there. But so we're going to do the rotors on the car, back brake pads on it, back brake setup that I have. I know there's been a lot of people that have asked, about it. But these are brake pads. The whole setup is off of a 1987 Turbo Coupe, the old Thunderbird stuff. It's got small disc brakes from the factory. And so that's what I run on the back. We're going to try to crank this thing up. Hopefully it'll crank up. Let's see what happens.
System engaged. Good afternoon, Turbo John. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. Come on, let's fire up and go get some brake changed. Cold nature, it got cold.
Yes, it was cold and lonely last night.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so just got this thing jacked up, fixing to take the wheel off of it. Check this out. So clearly it is warped pretty bad, and you can hear all the noise in there. So we're going to change the rotors real fast, repack the bearings with grease, and do the same thing to the back. Okay, so you can see this rotor is definitely had its better days. It looks like the pads are not terrible down in there. So I got brakes, I got new rotors and new pads from Aerospace. And so, I mean, this thing's pretty easy to take apart. Just pull this cap off of it, and then it'll be easy to go.
Fancy tool to squish it.
And Brian's got the nice fancy tool to get it. Man, look how these things, I don't know if they've been cleaned in forever. I won these. Brian, this is the set I won from Blake Holcomb back in the day. Long time ago. 6 or 8 years ago. Yeah, it's been a long time. Back when we were doing Real Street, that was a contingency. But the pads, I mean, I've replaced the pads about every 2 years is when I've been doing the pads. But they're definitely due as well. But they don't look terrible, so we'll take the best ones and throw them in the top of the trailer and use them for some spares. The rotors are going to go into trash. There ain't no salvage in those. Oh, hi, kitty. Meow. Brian's got a new shop cat here. He's observing. He's going to help. Did you name the cat yet?
No, not yet.
No name? It's no name. Okay, so this one is on. Brian polished a little bit. Spins a lot better. Brakes are on it. They're good. The old ones were really beat up. Also polished the wheel just a little bit real quick. Try to make it a little pretty on the front. So this side's done. It has taken 2 hours to do this. These bolts down here where this thing bolts together is, that was a pain in the butt. Used red Loctite on it, and wow, it was very difficult to get those loose. I mean, they've been together for 6 or 7 years, so I mean, it's one of those things. And the rotor was beat up terrible. Let me show you what the rotor looked like. So here's the rotor. And of course, it was bad. It was, I mean, on the outer edges, I mean, some of these holes were cracked completely through. And the really crazy thing is it is warped like crazy. Look how much warp it is. It's hard to, this way right here. You see how much, it's probably 1/4 inch warped. So it was in bad shape. Brake pads were in pretty rough shape too. So I mean, I must put the brakes on it 2 years ago. I guess brakes is one of those things we probably need to start doing every year. I mean, honestly, at the speeds we're at. All right, 10-4, let's do the other side. Okay, so we got this thing. These are done. These are nice and polished up. Check this out. That's just the pad you hear. But look how good that thing spins now versus before. It is spinning freaking awesome. So Brian got the polisher out. So we started polishing a little bit. The wheels look a ton better. Just about 5 minutes on each wheel. I mean, it's not anything super exotic, but wow, it does look better. Check these rotors out. They're in terrible, terrible shape and warped like crazy. I mean, these are definitely, make sure you check your brakes. Clearly, I was not checking them enough. This is the one that was on the passenger side. It's even worse. There's not really any like major cracks in them other than they're falling apart. I mean, the ends, the whole piece is it's just crazy the way this is done. Like I said, these have been on here for about 6 or 7 years. The rotors, I think I put pads on it twice. So I think the original time and then 2 times after that. So about every 2 years is when it gets pads. So clearly the rotors, they weren't quite that bad, of course, last time when I had it out. But they were in pretty rough shape now. So those are going in the trash. So we're good to go with the fronts. We did mess with the backs. The backs were fine. There was nothing wrong with the backs. So they're good to go. So we're race ready for tomorrow. So we're going to see you at Thunder Valley. So we're going to go down to Thunder Valley, go make some passes, see what happens. 28x10 race. I think first round's at like 3:30 or so. So one of the things you got to think about when looking at these rotors are racing rotors. So I don't imagine the life on them is going to be as long as like a street car rotor. They're clearly not cooled as much. They're basically 5/16 of an inch solid steel that's been, water jetted out. So, I mean, there's just not, they don't have a lot of room to displace the heat. And I remember talking to, I think it was Kevin Robinson or Blazer Dave, one of those guys from Damn Yankees several years ago. When my car was blow through, it used to stop and it would have flames coming out the exhaust. So on the right side, the exhaust was coming out, on the right side fender. And one of them, at one time, they were on the shutdown, waiting for their ride to come get them, their push vehicle. And when I was stopping, I remember this was at Piedmont, and they said there was a flame out the exhaust, and the brake rotors were glowing red. And so that was back before I had a parachute. So I only had a parachute for the last couple years. And so, parachutes, really help. I pull the parachute a lot now. And, clearly if you've got a parachute, it's going to help your brakes live a lot longer. But y'all need to check your brakes. I failed at checking my brakes frequently enough, and this could have been disastrous. So make sure you check your brakes and, change the things that need to happen, as much as possible. Because, I mean, we get these things going fast in a very short period of time, and it's just, it could be disastrous. If you can't get it stopped, it's just going to be terrible. So make sure you check this stuff frequently. Make sure you stay on top of it. All right, guys, we're done. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll upload another video. Go fast, get some wind lights. Comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks.